So here we are at the first Master Your Mind with Footloose meeting. This meeting is a mutual support meeting where through open and confidential discussion, we help each other and ourselves to master our minds and take control of our lives. These tools that we're going to learn here work for substances such as alcohol, nicotine, and drugs, as well as activities like excessive screen time, gambling, sex, eating, self-harming, spending money, etc., etc. Video games, right? And in this group, we view problematic consequences as our own responsibility and the result of choices that we have made. If we've chosen to maintain any certain behavior, then it's also possible that we can choose to stop it. So we approach this task by developing a variety of self-empowering skills that will help you, one, establish, grow, and maintain the motivation to change and have a better life. Number two, successfully cope with and manage any urges successfully or appropriately. And three is effectively manage your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Number four is ultimately to achieve a more balanced lifestyle, right? This meeting will be about 60 to 90 minutes long and consists of a check-in, agenda setting, the discussion, checkout, and finally passing the hat for donations. The meeting is free, but any donations are greatly appreciated, and we do suggest a $5 donation, not a big deal. Meeting guidelines. Number one, this is an electronic free meeting. Obviously, this is being recorded for educational purposes on social media, and everyone should turn your devices off and or on silent, and please leave the room if you do need to use it. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. And refrain from touching anyone. Everyone is required to respect the personal space of others in the room. You'll be asked to leave if you violate this guideline. Number three, in life, each one of us must take responsibility for our decisions, and we must also allow others to be responsible for theirs. Thus, I am not a sponsor or a buddy. I have my own thoughts, life, and behavior to manage for myself. Personal problems are the responsibility of the individual, even if such behavior has a negative impact on others. You're welcome to attend this meeting regardless of whether or not you're actively engaged in any problematic behavior or substance use, right? As long as you're not disruptive to the group. So please choose your words carefully. These meetings are audio and video recorded for social media purposes and educational purposes. So even so, everyone must respect the confidentiality of other meeting participants. By entering this meeting, you are consenting and also agree to be recorded and for that recording to be shared publicly. Regardless, we all must agree not to tell anyone outside the group who attended or any information that would identify an individual. This is just going to be me and the board here, right? So you will be barred from future meetings if you do so. Also, we will not identify people as meeting attendees if we meet them outside the group, right? You see them at the supermarket or something like that. Oh, hey, everybody. So, we do not collect or share contact information from meeting participants. Socializing between members is a private matter between those individuals. We don't use labels such as alcoholic, addict, druggie, etc., because labeling people based on their behavior is not conducive to long-term success. We discourage the use of labels here and instead shall focus on building a future where we're no longer engaged with the problematic behavior that we're here for, right? Because it might be different for everybody. Somebody could be here for cigarettes, somebody could be here for eating, and it doesn't come up. So labels are for jars, not people. We don't debate issues about addiction and recovery. We're free to speak in the language we want to and to view addiction and recovery however we want to. We don't give advice. Rather, we discuss what is working and or isn't working for us in our own lives. Master Your Mind encourages participants to make their own choices and learn from them. We can, however, offer ideas for each other to consider. The meeting is conversational. We keep the discussion moving from person to person. We avoid side conversations and stay focused on the group. We're encouraged to ask questions and share ideas about what has helped us, which we describe as crosstalk. Yet we avoid lengthy war stories and excessive self-disclosure. This is not a brain vomit session. We need to respect each other's time, and there's no obligation to participate, and anyone is free to just listen and observe if they prefer. So in this meeting, we master our mind in order to master our life. We achieve this by implementing a variety of tools, strategies, and techniques. This meeting is informed by the best scientific research available, as well as from ancient philosophy. While anyone is welcome to mention other paths and approaches here at the meetings, we do keep the focus on mastering our own mind through the time-tested and evidence-based knowledge. We recognize that each participant needs to find a unique solution to their unique situation. Thus, we do not bash other groups or approaches to recovery out of respect for those in our group who may find them helpful. A lapse, recurrence, or a slip-up is not something to be ashamed about. Instead, it is seen as a learning opportunity. Regaining control over your life can be difficult and often involves some steps back as well as some steps forward. A lapse or a slip-up is not an excuse to give up, but a time to learn more about why it happened so that it may be prevented in the future. Master Your Mind tools and strategies and techniques are designed to help you on this journey. People are welcome to participate in a Master Your Mind meeting for as long as they want. There's no requirement to make a lifetime commitment to the meeting, only to master your mind in order to master your life. Please make it a point to attend several meetings before making up your mind whether this approach might help you or not. Developing self-management and lifestyle balance skills doesn't happen instantly, but rather over a period of several weeks to months. Long-term success averages 5 years to become recovered, right? So please have patience and feel good about what you're learning as you discover all the tools. It will take around 5 meetings to become familiarized with the program and all the tools. So lastly, we encourage participants to determine a path of success that is right for their needs and beliefs. Some may choose to use the program in concert with other mutual support groups or in conjunction with professional treatment. Some people may benefit from counseling as part of their support system. Master Your Mind is not a substitute for professional counseling, nor is it designed to help with serious mental health problems or crisis situations. We recognize that there are as many pathways to achieving self-actualization as there are people seeking to be recovered from their problems. So, on to the check-in. And after the check-in, we will begin a series of round the circle exercises. And after the discussion, we'll have a check-out where you can tell us what was most meaningful to you during the meeting. So let's begin with the check-in. Tell us what you'd like us to know.
I'm Mike. I'm in recovery. Had an extensive period of sobriety, a recent relapse, and getting back on track now.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for coming here. And I'm Footloose. I have been in recovery since, forever. I got out of prison in 2015, and I started volunteering for Smart Recovery, which this program is largely based on. And I've been practicing these tools and techniques here for a long time. A lot of this is Stoic philosophy as well. My recovery doesn't look like everybody else's recovery, and I still have problems. And this is going to be great for me too, because it's good to keep these things fresh in our minds. So let's get this thing focused on the board, because it's not about me. And we'll get into a tool. Have you ever been to a Smart Recovery meeting before?
I didn't even know what it was till today.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So they have a bunch of tools and actually there's a new app. Everybody should go check this app out. It's the Smart Recovery app in the App Store. You can download it and use it without putting in an email or anything like that, and it actually has all the tools in it. I have them in my head, and that's the whole point, is to have them in your head, right? So one of the most important tools, in my opinion, is called the HOV tool, the hierarchy of values. You know, and I like to add in principles. Values and principles, because if we don't have a hierarchy, right? Why do you think a hierarchy, you know what that means, obviously, right? Certain order. Do you have one set up in your mind, like your number one principle or anything like that?
My number one principle right now is maintaining my sobriety.
So maintaining your sobriety, so recovery,
Yeah.
Achieving
Long-term sobriety.
achieving long-term sobriety. Are you an abstinence guy?
Yeah.
Recover, right? Yeah?
Yep.
Through abstinence, right? And what happens, I'm gonna have to bring some good things for next time. So what happens when you don't maintain your sobriety?
Prison.
Prison.
Possible death.
Prison to potentially death. Right? And so what do you gain when you achieve? What do you get when you achieve? What's the benefit of achieving long-term sobriety?
Freedom.
Get your freedom.
Living a normal life.
Freedom, normalcy. Right? Anything else?
Those are the two biggest things for me.
And then, so what would be your number two after that? After as long as you're maintaining your sobriety, what's your next high principle?
Being abstinent in a criminal lifestyle.
So now, so the, boom, and then, how can we, I'm trying to think how to word that? Avoiding,
Reverting back to old behaviors.
criminality.
Yep.
Criminality, right? I'm assuming this is first
Yep.
because you do this when you do this.
Exactly.
Right, and that's the whole point of this tool, is to have that one thing that is going to prevent
Everything underneath.
everything bad from happening, right? So the avoiding criminality, what happens when you're not avoiding criminality and you're committing crimes?
Go right back to prison again and again and again.
Again, back to prison, obviously, that was the same, and you're here, thank God it's not death yet, right? Prison to death again. I don't want to waste all the ink in this thing. So after that, we got those two important ones. What would be your third?
Maintaining family relationships, strong family relationships.
Healthy and so strong
I'm gonna say family and friends.
Strong family and friends. Family and friends. Right? And what happens when you're not maintaining those bonds?
I get cut off and on my own, and even something simple as having not being in constant contact with my family and friends will avoid, even though it's a lower level of the hierarchy, it'll start trickling up to the higher levels.
Right. Start eating away, making you think. Do you have thoughts?
So like I'll say I'll no longer be in contact with my family and friends, then I'll go get high, and then I'll start committing crimes again, and then before I know it, I'm sitting in jail again. Because like it might be something small, of not texting my mother every morning and every night, but if I don't do it for a couple of days, it's a trickle effect.
Okay. And what do you think is the number one cause for you to start thinking about, not being sober or, and then committing crimes?
My number one cause for that is a lot to do with my mental health, with my bipolar and manic depression.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll just be something small, and it'll like kick me just a little bit to the side, and it'll just keep going further and further, kind of like a little avalanche starts with a little pebble, and before you know it, a week later, it's an avalanche.
Is it thoughts?
Yeah.
So it's the thoughts. So we can, there's a good tool, and it's called the ABC tool, right? It stands for action or activating event, like a trigger, right? Something happens, and then we think about it, which is the B, is the belief. We form a belief, and that belief has consequences. The consequences are twofold. They are emotional and or behavioral. Right? So we can run through it. So something happens, we think about it, and that thought has these consequences. Would you agree?
Yep.
And the key part of this tool is that the belief is also twofold. The belief is either rational, makes sense, or irrational. Right? So, what can we do with this is that we stop, and when we're thinking, we check this for rationality. And then anything that would be irrational, we would try to change it to a more rational way of thinking about it. And in doing so, if we're successful in first stopping and going, wait a second, why am I so upset about this? We change to a rational thought, and we change our emotions and our behavior. It's irrational, right? The cause, it's like a cause and effect. An irrational belief will cause unhealthy, irrational emotions and behavior, and vice versa. Irrational will be healthy and healthy emotions and behavior. So what would be a situation? What was the last time when you had the slip up? What was the thought most likely to get you to engage in this behavior?
The fear of an accident, of an actual accident leading to the possible return to prison, triggered my downward spiral within a matter of minutes. It was in a full-blown cyclone.
And when you're the bipolar thing, and you start having these thoughts that make you go to these extremes, what's the most common one that gets you to do it?
Any little thing could lead me back to prison, either on a violation or new charges for something minuscule, and even something minuscule could lead to a lengthy prison sentence because of my criminal record.
Right. What about engaging in substance use?
A lot of the engaging in substance use is, I'll start with mental thought process, and fuck, I fucked up, now I'm going back to prison for some dumb shit.
Fuck
I
it.
might as well enjoy it and go to prison again.
Okay. So this is perfect. So the whole, we call it the fuck it,
Yep.
everybody calls it, right? And you're like, it doesn't matter.
Once you have one, have a whole
Okay,
bag of them.
I already messed up. I already, right, had one or messed up.
You know,
Had one. I'm in trouble. Trouble. Why not? I'm in trouble anyway, right? Get the whole thought in there. I already had one. I'm in trouble anyway. F it, right? Fuck it, let's go all out.
you know,
Let's go all out.
with a bang.
Boom, yeah, let's go all out with a bang. Hope, so yeah, with a bang, boom. And what do you think of that thought now?
Now I can't believe that I thought an honest mistake would lead me back to prison for an extended period. And I can't believe I allowed myself to get into that cycle and almost lead me back to prison because of that thought process.
So, it's obviously,
It was an irrational belief, and I let it spin in my head. But now that I'm back to normalcy, I can realize that it was irrational, and I can rationalize it.
so what in, what would be, when you have those thoughts, how do you replace it now? Or what's the best one that works for you? Or how could you change that thought to, I already have, even if you did mess up, what would be the best way to deal with that?
Now in my head, it's even if I screw up one time, get high one time, do something I'm not supposed to do one time, I'm gonna buckle down and deal with the consequences if the consequences actually come from my mistake or reoccurrence, whatever happened.
Mm-hmm. So be honest about it, say something, cause you get tested,
You know?
right? So be honest about it. Is I do believe honesty is the best
Yeah.
policy for me, right? You can't work on any of this stuff if you can't be honest with the cause and effect here. So that's good. That's the ABC tool and how you can use it and replace those thoughts ahead of time and be like, well, if you literally, what people don't understand is this is the key
You know, there's a belief.
to your emotions and behavior and what you're gonna do. And so we can like gaslight ourselves, so to speak, to get ourselves going. And so back to the HOV here. What would be, so you're okay, so what happens to those bonds? What's the worst thing that happens when you're violating your hierarchy and you lose those bonds with your family and friends?
You can call it cut off and have no contact with them for extended periods of time. That is more or less discipline for me growing up.
So that they isolate,
You know,
they banish,
you know,
basically banishment. Right? And so what's the best thing? And so it's obviously it's the same because these ones are kind of really tied together, right? You maintain your freedom here.
you know.
Freedom.
And also I can put in for both of those is maintaining a mental chemical balance. Or you don't have to put chemical, just mental balance.
What you achieve from
All three of them really.
all three of them. So it helps to balance out your thought process when everything's going good,
You know,
right? So balance, mental balance. Right? right? So there's this chain, it's like a domino effect here, right? And then what would be your number 4 value and principle?
Maintaining a, what do I word it? Positive employment.
Employment,
Yeah.
good one. So maintaining productivity or
Yeah.
income,
Yeah.
right?
Because we all know how to get money illegally. It's a matter of making it legal and not having to deal with the consequences of making illegal money.
Right? Legal, important, right?
Yeah.
Income, because that would inherently violate
Yeah.
your entire value system if it wasn't
Exactly.
legal, right? So what's the worst thing that happens? What's the worst negative consequence or problematic consequence from not maintaining your legal income?
Pretty much all the above right there.
All the above again, prison, death, banishment, it sets off again this
Yeah.
chain, right, of
Yeah.
consequences. So we like to call this the shadow,
Yeah.
right? This is the shadow. This is what happens when we don't maintain our values. So what else could happen from not maintaining, anything else?
Lose the legal, if I started maintaining illegal income, I would lose everything I gained from having a legal income as well.
Okay, so, you can't, you can't progress.
Yeah.
Can't
Can't move forward.
progress forward if you're not maintaining, a legal income, right?
Yep.
So boom, and what happens so you can progress, right? Obviously, that would imply we can progress forward. And what is the biggest, thing that you get besides that ability to, right? The potential, you even get the potential from just being free to even do all these other things. What's the greatest thing that you get benefit from maintaining a legal income?
If my mental balance, but also allows me to legally purchase stuff such as a vehicle, an apartment, future house, stuff like that, furniture, everything I need,
Okay. So,
and not have to worry about being seized or repossessed.
so it helps with the mental balance again, right? And then, in legally acquiring property, right?
Yep.
Property, you're able to pay bills,
Yep.
property, all that stuff. Take a girl out on a date,
Yep.
buy your kid, if you got kids, buy your kids some stuff, whatever. So acquiring property from maintaining a legal income, and then so we're getting on. They want you to have at least 5 values. It's good to have 10 of them because it really creates a deeper understanding of your principal system, and it's there in your head, right? So what would be your 5th?
Even though it would still be underneath the achieving long-term sobriety, I would put number 5 as obtaining and maintaining a positive, sober network of support.
Excellent. So obtaining and maintaining so other like activities,
Yeah.
social social activities, right? You can't go bowling or do anything if you don't have that legal income. Because if you're doing the other, you're not going to want to be involved
Exactly.
in doing the fun stuff, right? Social activities. Go to a concert,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, what happens? What's the worst consequence of not having these social activities?
I start socializing with non-sober people and I wouldn't even say but start socializing with non-sober people and criminally minded people.
Yep. Those were my same things for me. Number one, avoiding the people that are involved in it, because birds. You're in a barber shop, it's all that. You're gonna not in a barber shop, obviously, but caught dead in a barber shop. So social activities, and you lose. What was it?
If I was for my shadow,
Worst consequence, yeah.
it would no longer have positive influence and I have negative influences, which is non-sober people and criminally minded people.
So idle time, and then reversion.
Yep.
Reversion automatically to these other things,
Yep.
right? So the cause, there's a big, I like to call it, cause and effect. It's all about cause and effect. This is what really helps me. And once we understand that it's our thoughts that get us to start to hang out with these people and do these things, or even to do it by yourself, it's all, there's a cause and effect chain here that brings us one way or the other. And understanding it, recognizing it, and then directing, like adjusting the sail of the ship of your life. Who's the captain of the ship, right? Are you having a mutiny of irrational thoughts, right? Because once you let the first irrational thought through, all these other ones come in like they're friends and try to, egg you on and get you to do that thing. And so, what's the best thing, your favorite thing from healthy social activities? Or even one, what's your favorite one that you like to do the most? Camping,
Mountains, beach.
camping, nature,
Yep.
camping, nature, right? So, are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid?
No.
It's interesting because that's basically what we have here. Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid starts at the bottom with basic needs. Basic needs, right? And if you don't have your basic needs met, you go homeless, prison, death. So this is like the shadow part of Maslow's pyramid. So you have to maintain your basic needs. If once we do that by achieving sobriety, avoiding criminality, and the legal income, that's the next thing is family and friends and relationships is this next one. Family and friends. And then this one is esteem needs, social activities, things that make you feel good. And I'm gonna miss one here, but at the top we put SA, and that's self-actualization. right? It gets to the point where you can start doing things that bring you to be a better more, maybe go to school, reading books, studying things, your favorite thing like camping, nature stuff. What would be some things, we call this the, what is this called again? The VACI tool, okay? VACI, and it stands for vital, absorbing, creative interest. And it has to check off all those boxes. And it's going to be different for everybody. Like it could be painting, could be writing, could be making music, could be carving, things like that. So do you have anything, like it's like a hobby on steroids type of thing?
I
Drawing?
used to be tattooing until I was physically unable to tattoo.
Okay. Yeah, so drawing, and do you ever do the drawing when you're involved with the criminality and stuff like that?
No.
Never. So, that's where you would put these top things. Drawing, that could be another value. Getting back into your art stuff, right? That's where we start achieving the higher realms of the pyramid. So that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. I did probably butcher it a little bit. I'm missing one of them off the top of my head, but hey, it's pretty good. But that's what it's made me think about as we're doing it, how connected it is, and then understanding how this thing is built, that we can't do anything with our lives basically until we, number one, have stable, because even if, for sake of argument, we are in criminality and use and we got all kinds of money and we got a house, doesn't mean we're maintaining all these other things, and that it can be easily taken. It can be taken at any moment, right? So you don't really have a great security. You're like, at that point, you're right here on the borderline of, you barely have them. You're not really maintaining them in a way where you, under legal income, you don't have the chances of these things happening, right? So you can, boom, you get that completely, and then you could work on these other things to make your life better, right? So you got any questions or anything about any of these?
No, I'm keeping up the pace right now.
All right, cool. So vital, absorbing, creative interest, and so what's another common thought that will get you to engage in using substances?
I can do it just once.
I can do it just once. Right? I can handle it.
Yeah.
I can do it just once. I got this.
And we all know it's not true.
I got this, right? Yeah, so it's like, what do we think of that thought? What do we think of that thought? Is it rational or irrational?
Completely irrational. It's
Completely irrational. I got this, don't worry. It's like,
3 months
you're
later, you're 120 pounds. Like, what happened?
Yeah. So, I got this. No, I don't got this. And so if you think, well, no, I know I can't because I don't got this, boom, it automatically makes you feel better, makes you feel powerful and in control, because you are, right? When you start thinking irrational and frankly foolish like this, right? Yeah, I got this. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That you really don't got this. You're not trained, and you're not thinking in a rational way. You don't got this, and then we lose everything here. it all falls apart. The shadow comes into play. We lose all our family and friends time. We're not into our hobbies and interests, and back to prison at some point, right? So what would be a good thought when you say, I got this, to say immediately, what would counter that?
I don't got this.
I don't got this, and
I'll never have it.
otherwise I lose
Everything.
my everything, right? So you see how to have it all up here like this,
You know?
it really brings it to a whole new level with the accountability, self-accountability, right? So I got this. Is there any other ones? Right, we got the F-Eds, let's just go. I got this. How about
They'll never know.
they'll never know? That's a good one. Yep. Nobody will know.
You know?
No one knows. Right? I used to think that too. It's like, nobody's gonna know. My eyes are all pinned. And like you said, lose all kinds, you're all sunken in. Nobody knows, we can't tell anything. Right?
Yeah,
Or, yeah, you're drunk and it's all over your breath, smoking cigarettes. Nobody's gonna know. It's people are gonna smell that.
You know?
So nobody's gonna know. Obviously irrational, and if we are honest with ourselves, obviously we're gonna think, I can't hide it. Everybody's gonna know. I'm not be stupid, because we always want to tie it back to the values in the shadow, the consequences, right, from our beliefs and how we basically react to the things that we experience in our life. What's another common one for getting us to engage? I'll try to think too.
This won't get me in trouble.
Oh, this, it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
It kind of ties into I got this, but same thing. A little different.
Right, not a big deal. I mean, these are all, like I was saying, I like to say it's like a Trojan horse, because once you let any one of these through, and you're like, sorry, then the other one you're like, yeah, nobody's gonna know, I got this, not a big deal. I mean, it's, look at all this evidence, and says what I should, it's okay. And then of course, we're like that, we're worked up, and then we act out on it, right? So it's usually the emotions lead to the behavior that we're trying to avoid, the problematic behavior, as we like to say. So I got this, not a big deal. And how about this one? I thought of a good one. It's just the last one.
Yeah.
It's just the last one, last pack. It's just the last one.
One last time.
Yeah, one last time or one more.
Yeah.
Just the last one, last time. And why is this, what do we think of that now? Why is this?
There's never a last time.
It's never the last time, because when was the last time? The last time,
You know,
right?
6 hours ago.
6 hours ago, right? So it was the last time, was that last time that you just did it.
Yeah.
This is actually, and this is how we know, this is a great example of how this works. It's the next time. In actuality, in truth, it's not the last time, it's the next time.
Yeah.
And then that next time never ends,
Yeah.
right? It's just this infinite loop of, or tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, I'll stop tomorrow. Another good one. Why is this one not rational?
Because tonight's gonna lead into tomorrow. Like, oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
It's right, because it's like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
You wake up and it's still today, right? Groundhog Day of irrational thoughts. You're like, fuck it, not a big deal. No one's gonna know, it doesn't matter, I already messed up. So, all these irrational justifications built on top of each other to get us excited, to do the thing that we know is gonna screw up our job. We don't show up to work,
You know,
family and friends, maybe stealing from them, we're banished, prison, and potentially, eventually, this is the great equalizer, right? There's always the potential penalty of death
Yep.
when you're engaging in these problematic things, from my experience and opinion.
Yep.
Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow never comes. It's always today.
I'll just finish this bag.
I'll just finish this. Yeah, it's like I got a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, it's just,
Once this pack's gone, I'm done.
once this pack's gone, I'm done. Yep. So, just as the last time, last pack,
Yep.
because this could be, it's going to be different for everybody.
Yep.
But you can see how versatile this is for all the things that you might want to use it for.
That was my biggest one. This last relapse was, I'm just gonna get this, and when it's done, I'm done and over with. I'll get back on the straight and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is gone. I need to get more so I can make it through the day. Well, now I got this bag, so now I gotta get rid of this. And
Right.
3 weeks later, it's like, what the fuck happened to 3 weeks?
So, trying to think what else we got going on. What time is it? So it's been like 46 minutes. It's pretty good. I feel like we did, it's just the two of us. Would have been helpful to have other people's input. It's a lot more fun, and hopefully, obviously this is the first one back. We only had the signs up for 2 days, and so that you said that's how
I
you.
literally saw the sign in the hallway, and I was like,
Nice.
hey, I'm not really feeling the reflections on reflection meeting. LGBTQ, not really my thing. I have anything against it, but it's just not me. And I was like, oh, what is this meeting?
Right. All right. Cool. Excellent. And then also, if you have, afterwards or whatever, if you have any critique or concerns, let me know. We can fix things and whatnot next week. Hopefully, we should have other people. Like I said, I was expecting a guy, and hopefully maybe others. They probably heard that he was coming here and made it so that he couldn't. It's just my wild speculation. So pass the hat, whatever. I'm not worried about that. And then, so is there anything came up that you would like to discuss before we end the discussion? Maybe a tool.
But ABC is one of my biggest things I'm taking from this.
Nice.
Because a lot of times, with my drug of choice being meth, my belief, which at the time I feel is rational, is completely, utterly irrational.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, the cops are outside waiting for me. No, they're just driving by.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, excellent. That's like the key to the whole kingdom, so to speak. If you can't master that, you can't master your mind and then your life. So glad to hear that. Thank you so much, and thank you for this discussion. Same time next week.
Yep.
All right. Cool.